Fans are continuing to remember a Transylvania University student who died over the weekend while hiking at Raven Run.
Coming up, we'll take you to Richmond, where regional firefighters are participating in a training exercise that they say is as real as it gets.
Also on WKYT News at noon, a family of 4 is dead after an arson fire in Louisville with connections to the Bluegrass. We'll have the latest on the investigation coming up.
This is WKYT News at noon.
Good afternoon from WKYT News. I'm Bill Bryant. Barbara has the day off. Here's what's happening at noon. We are learning new information now about the circumstances behind the deaths of 4 people who were found after an arson fire in Louisville. Firefighters say they found the bodies of a husband and wife and their 2 young children in the home. The family identifies the mother as Billy Hettinger and her young children as Colin and Courtney. And police are investigating it as a homicide, but they are not looking for any suspects. WKYT's Mark Barber is at our live desk now with reaction from family members. And that's our top story at noon. Mark?
Good afternoon, Bill. Billy Hettinger's family says she was a UK grad who worked as a nurse at Baptist Health in Lexington before she moved to Louisville. She took an office position at a hospital there 2 years ago so she could stay home with her children more. Courtney just turned 4 and Colin would have turned 6 in 3 days. The small children were found dead in their home in southeast Louisville along with their mother and father yesterday afternoon. Firefighters found the 4 bodies when they were putting out fires in the house. Investigators say there were multiple fires on different floors, all of them intentionally set. Hettinger's family says they do not think that the family died in the flames. While police are not releasing much information, they are saying they are not searching for any suspects.
We're just completely devastated. It's just a horrible thing to happen to someone that you love. She was just happy all the time. And her children were just absolutely dolls. They just were the cutest things, and she loved them dearly.
The coroner's office says they are now taking a look at the bodies and they hope to have a better understanding of how the family died later this afternoon. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Well, a very difficult situation. Certainly, WKYT News has learned that Hettinger grew up in Nicholasville and then went on to study at colleges in Williamsburg and Richmond before she moved to Lexington. Family and friends are remembering a young college student who fell to her death over the weekend. Officials say Katie Stewart was hiking at Raven Run Nature Sanctuary Saturday when she fell nearly 60 feet from a cliff. Stewart worked at Cup of Commonwealth, a coffee shop in town. WKYT's Hillary Thornton has reaction from her co-workers.
Her friends say she was an excellent listener who loved getting to know people and their stories, which made working here at a coffee shop pretty much the perfect job for the 22-year-old.
Katie just always had this bubbly energy about her. She's always laughing, always giggling. She could make anybody laugh. Her laugh was truly infectious.
Transylvania University student Katie Stewart worked at a Cup of Commonwealth in downtown Lexington for about a year. She did a little bit of everything from marketing to making drinks, all while making a big impact on both her coworkers and customers along the way.
We as a staff try to do is really build relationships with our customers, and she was just so good at it. She would learn names and make a point to get to know someone.
A soon-to-be college grad with big dreams, involved in many organizations in town, spending time working at Crank and Boom, as well as Bullhorn, the Kenton County native certainly investing in Lexington.
She said that she had really started to feel like Lexington was home, and I love that.
They say the outpouring of support from others who knew Stewart, as well as this entire community, has been tremendous as they deal with the loss of their friend. In Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
And if you would like to help the Stewart family with funeral expenses, there is a donation jar that is set up there at Cup of Commonwealth. Well, it's a chilly start to this work week, expecting highs in the 40s and 50s throughout WKYT land, but things start to warm up somewhat as we go into the next few days. WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is live on our First Alert Weather Center on this second day of spring.
Yeah, and it's a pretty good looking day. I mean, you only have a few clouds here and there. It's a beautiful afternoon. The rest of of the day, trying to knock out any plans, any errands you got to run. It's just perfect for it. Except it's a little cool, so I guess it's not perfect, but it's good there that nothing's falling out of the sky. Temperatures are there in the 40s, 45 in Richmond, 47 in Lexington. We're nearing that 50-degree mark, and we'll be right there around that 50-degree mark later on this afternoon. Head off into your evening and night. It's another chilly night in store at 34 tomorrow morning, but look at the difference from 1 p.m. tomorrow to 1 p.m. sitting here today. That's a big difference, about a 10-degree swing. I'm going to show you what we can expect as we travel off through the next 48 to 72 hours, because that warming trend is going to take over, but that leads to a system that'll give us some rain. I'll have all that coming up in about 10 minutes.
All right, we'll see you in a bit with that, and we thank you, Micah. Firefighters in central Kentucky are getting some real hands-on training inside a burning home this midday. The building, which used to be the Heritage House Bed and Breakfast, was donated by a senior living community in Richmond. WKYT's Mike Linden is in Madison County with some amazing video. Mike?
Today is the third and final day for a firefighter training exercise in Richmond, where firefighters will have the opportunity to participate in a live scenario that they say is as close to real life as it gets.
What was once the Heritage House Bed and Breakfast in Richmond is now the site of firefighter training. Throughout the day, teams of firefighters will battle flames and hot spots to practice for situations they'll face on the job. What makes this drill different from normal training is the purpose of the home they're using. Richmond Fire Department Captain Daniel Clark says this home was not specifically designed for training, which he says gives firefighters invaluable experience.
It being from 1995 makes a huge difference, because it's more like the homes that we would actually respond to. So this training opportunity is invaluable to us to be able to burn and practice putting out fires in houses that are more similar to homes that are being built now.
Captain Clark says in the 17 years he's been a firefighter, this is only the second time he's had the opportunity to train in a home built to live in rather than for firefighter training specifically. In Richmond, Mike Linden, WKYT.
And firefighters will burn the entire structure to the ground later this afternoon. And in about a week, construction for the Dominion Senior Living Facility will begin there. Well, the State House is expected to vote this afternoon on a bill that would make cancer a line-of-duty death for Kentucky firefighters. The legislation also calls for the state to give $80,000 to the families of firefighters who die from cancer. Firefighters say they are at higher risk of getting cancer because of exposure to smoke and harmful chemicals on the job. The bill has already passed the Senate. If it passes the House today, it will then head to Governor Bevin's desk for his signature. The Fayette County School Board will hold a public meeting this evening to get some input on how to deal with high levels of radon in 9 of its schools. The school system is trying to decide whether to spend more than $500,000 to fix the problem. Tonight's meeting starts at 6:30 at the Board of Education. Well, now that spring is bringing some warmer weather to the bluegrass, all those pesky potholes can finally start to be filled. Crews are working until 3 o'clock this afternoon doing patchwork on I-75 in Fayette County. There will be some rolling lane closures in both directions between exit 115, that's Newtown Pike, and the Scott County line. Keep that in mind. And a new restaurant is coming to Lexington, and they're looking for a few good men and women to come on board. Taziki's Mediterranean Cafe is looking to fill 50 positions ahead of its debut next month in everything from cashiers to kitchen staff. Those who are interested can apply in person at the restaurant. It's located on Southland Drive. Taziki's provides fresh, delicious, and healthy food for fast casual restaurant goers. It's set to open to the public on April 18th. President Obama is on a historic and yet controversial mission to Cuba. We'll tell you what he has planned while visiting the island nation coming up on Kentucky's #1 Midday News. Also ahead, 80s actor Scott Baio starting to trend now on Twitter after endorsing Donald Trump for president. Find out what people are saying about him on social media. Coming up on WKYT News at noon.
Her daughter's wedding was perfect, but her choice of videographer, she has regrets.
We had a contract that we would have certain things, and we don't have those yet.
How to make the right choice for the big day. Who can you trust? Tonight at 6 on WKYT. When big news breaks, be the first to know. Download the WKYT News app and turn on push alerts. Breaking news at your fingertips when you need to know what's going on. Push alerts, now available on the WKYT News app.
With a variety of fresh meat seafood meals starting at just $4.99, no one does seafood like Dee's. Try our new homestyle flounder meal or double dozen shrimp, or our grilled menu featuring new Tuscan tilapia, each with 2 sides and hush puppies. For full meals starting at $4.99, it's gotta be Dee's.
Hi, I'm Travis Morgan with North Broadway Auto Sales. We've been in business for over 20 years. We've got over 200 cars in inventory and thousands of happy customers.
At North Broadway Auto Sales, we never put GPS tracking devices on our cars.
Why pay $500 a month on another car lot when you come here and pay as low as $250 a month?
At North Broadway Auto Sales, everybody rides.
En North Broadway Auto Sales, todos manejan.
We know they're a great value, but to see if Malto-Meal cereal tastes as good as they claim, we have assembled a panel of experts. Spoons are up, they are mid-crunch, and full thumbs! Malto-Meal cereal, thumbs up on great taste.
Sleep Outfitters is proud to premiere the coolest bed in America, the new Tempur-Breeze, and you can try it here first. The redesigned Tempur-Breeze combines 3 innovative cooling technologies to help you get to sleep faster and sleep better and cooler all night long. And with 0% APR financing for 6 years, the new Tempur-Breeze is cool and affordable. The new Tempur-Breeze, it's the next generation cool, and you can try it first at Sleep Outfitters.
Did your family set a goal to become healthier in the new year? One family did and lost 300 pounds at Ageless. Bruce lost 92 pounds, Adam lost 64 pounds, and Catherine lost 151 pounds. For a medically supervised, affordable weight loss solution, call Ageless today for a free consultation.
With a variety of fresh meat seafood meals starting at just $4.99, no one does seafood like Dee's. Try our new homestyle flounder meal or double dozen shrimp, or our grilled menu featuring new Tuscan tilapia, each with 2 sides and hush puppies. For full meals starting at $4.99, it's gotta be Dee's.
Welcome back to WKYT News at noon. President Obama is spending his first full day in Cuba. He is taking a tour of Revolution Square in Havana, which is home to the government palace, the seat of executive power, and the National Library. He will then meet with Cuban President Raul Castro before taking part in a summit with U.S. and Cuban businesses. Tomorrow, President Obama will address the Cuban people. He is the first sitting commander-in-chief to visit Cuba since Calvin Coolidge in the 1920s. Foreign policy is taking center stage on the campaign trail today. Nearly all of the presidential candidates are addressing a pro-Israel political action group today. Craig Boswell has this report from Washington.
Hillary Clinton took the stage to loud applause from the audience at the American Israel Public Affairs Committee Conference, better known as AIPAC.
One of the first things I'll do in office is invite the Israeli Prime Minister to visit the White House.
Clinton, who was already looking ahead to November's general election, laid out the case that the next president needs to be able to lead the world from day one.
We need steady hands, not a president who says he's neutral on Monday, pro-Israel on Tuesday, and who knows what on Wednesday, because everything's negotiable.
Donald Trump's speech here is expected to be more substantive and focused on his foreign policy plans, a stark contrast to the speeches he's given on the campaign trail.
A group of rabbis are planning to boycott Trump's speech with a planned walkout, but the protests aren't expected to turn violent like this incident at a Trump rally this past weekend.
Violence begets violence, and so, I think it always takes 2 to tango, but obviously it needs to be denounced from all sides.
Ted Cruz and John Kasich will also address the conference, but Bernie Sanders, the only Jewish candidate running for president, is skipping the conference to campaign out west. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Washington.
And Trump is also scheduled to meet with a group of lawmakers ahead of his speech. Meanwhile, actor Scott Baio is creating a social media firestorm with his endorsement of Trump. During an interview with Fox News, Baio said that he is fed up with other Republicans and that playing nice doesn't work anymore. Soon after, reactions started pouring in on social media. One Twitter user said, quote, "Joni loves Chachi, but Chachi loves Trump," a reference to Baio's 1970s TV series Joni Loves Chachi. Another comment said, quote, "The sound you hear is that of 1 million people Googling Scott Baio still alive?" Apple is going smaller this year. The tech giant will hold its spring conference this afternoon, where it's expected to unveil smaller versions of the iPhone and the iPad Pro. The event will take place at a modest venue in Silicon Valley that holds fewer reporters and guests than locations used in the past. Starts in less than an hour at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Stay with us now for more news on WKYT, and we're going to take a look at weather. Here's Micah.
And we're looking outside. Those temperatures still very chilly, but we get into the next couple of days. These winds gusty out of the south and southwest. That'll help our temperatures climb, and I'll show you that coming up in just a few minutes.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on Rewind 105.5.
Seems like every morning is the same blur. Get the kids out the door with their steps so that they can get to school and I can get to work. Just sitting at a red light, I get hit from behind.
I'm attorney Darryl Isaacs, the Hammer. Serious accidents happen every day. It's what happens next that's really important.
I'm busy every day. I didn't want to waste my time with the insurance company. I called in Darryl Isaacs, the Hammer, and they handled it for me faster than I ever imagined.
Getting Kentuckians what they deserve has been my job for over 23 years. Car wreck? Get the Hammer.
I wasn't too thrilled about dentures, but I need to be able to chew. So I called Aspen Dental. They got me right in because my visit was long overdue. And no one on staff even made me feel bad that I hadn't been in since the leg warmer fad. My new dentures came with a great guarantee, so this giant pretzel's got nothing on me.
With dentures starting at $3.99 and a money-back guarantee, dentistry's never been easier. Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL.
EKU Center for the Arts presents opera star Kathleen Battle performing Underground Railroad, A Spiritual Journey, April 16th, featuring renowned pianist Joel Martin and the American Spiritual Ensemble. For tickets, visit EKUcenter.com.
Folks have been taking the short drive to satisfaction for over 20 years. Not only Winchester folks, but folks all across the state and even across the country. And who wouldn't come here? With over 2,500 vehicles to choose from here in Winchester, Kentucky. No matter if it's 100 miles or the short drive from Lexington, our staff will help you start your journey. Tim Short Chevrolet.
Bud's Gun Shop and Range has Kentucky's largest selection of firearms and ammo. Sharpen your skills in our indoor shooting range and check out our huge selection of all-American Ruger firearms, including the new LC9S, located on Industry Road behind Eastland Shopping Center.
Kentucky has lots of counties and miles of roads. And in every county, there's a Kentucky Farm Bureau agent looking out for folks when they're on the road. When you're in Kentucky, you're never far away from Kentucky's own property and casualty insurer. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
It's a really good looking day outside, but it is still kind of chilly. We're there in the 40s when typically we're at 57 degrees for a high, and you can see we're still at around 47. So we're still about 10 degrees off. However, I still expect maybe 3 to 5 degree swing from where we are now into the rest of the afternoon, which puts us there around 50 degrees roughly, depending on where you are. And it's 42 now in Jackson. It's 43 in Moorhead. As you step out the door, it's not bad. I mean, it's not extremely cold, but it's not the best feeling day. If the winds were really gusty, it'd be very chilly outside. But because of the wind staying down, now the winds will pick up next couple of days, but because of the wind staying down, it actually turns out to be a pretty decent day. There is a look across the region, mixture of sun and clouds. We'll hold on to that all afternoon. Kids coming home from school, no problem whatsoever. You heading out to eat later on this evening, it's not a backyard patio type of situation. It's, yeah, you're just going to have to stay inside the restaurant or inside your kitchen to actually knock out a nice little dinner. But Live Sky Camera, it's a good looking day. And look, we're going to have sunshine the next few days. It's not going to stop from today through Wednesday. Thursday's a different story, but now through the next 72 hours or so, it looks like we'll stay with sunny skies. 50 degrees there toward this afternoon. Off into the night and into tomorrow morning, we're back in the 30s, but not far deep into the 30s like we were this morning. We even had 20s out and about as we finished off in the upper 20s for Lexington and a lot of locations, southbound too. Then we hit 1 p.m. tomorrow. It's 57 degrees at 1 p.m. tomorrow. 48 today. So it shows you a big difference of temperatures. We will be anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees higher tomorrow and on Wednesday than where we are today. So let's talk about tomorrow. Big bottle of warm air bottled up back toward the west, and it's just sitting there. It's waiting to be kind of pushed or nudged over toward the Ohio River Valley. And we will start to get that tomorrow. You'll start to feel those winds gusty, and at times it will be cool, especially during the morning hours. But once we hit the afternoon, it's going to be totally different. We'll be there in the 60s. Then we get up into Wednesday. Here's Wednesday at 5 p.m. And look at these temperatures showing up in the mid to upper 60s. That's all because of those gusty winds really pumping in that warmer air. So the warming trend will continue, but we'll also have dry conditions too. Then we hit Thursday, and that will have the warm air in place, and here comes some rain sliding on in here on Thursday. I want to show you these shots. They're on Twitter, and this is Twitter Pics of the Day. First spring sunset, that was last night from Michael Baker. And another neat one from Johnny Nicholson down in London in Laurel County. Really good shots from them two. So we always get some good pictures showing them off early this afternoon. 7-day forecast, here's your look. 50 today, mid-60s tomorrow and on Wednesday. And then here comes your chance of rain showers, and thunderstorms will be likely on Thursday. It's not a complete all-day washout type of situation, but most of us will see rain as this passes on through. As of right now, I'm leaning more toward of not seeing severe weather, but it's one of those that if it backs up during the day and it comes through during the afternoons or evening, that could kind of change the severity of that system. So it's something to watch out for.
Lots of sunshine in the forecast.
Oh, yeah. Next few days look good. Yeah.
We'll enjoy it. Thank you, Micah.